Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about Yda, who shall be receiving her rework and her LD weapon with the upcoming Heretics event. We're going to be going over why she's actually not a bad pickup in my opinion, just from my experiences on using her, seeing as how she is a FF14 character, and since I've been playing 14 lately, I'm not trying to, do the whole like favorites thing and whatnot, but like, of course she does have her pros and cons, and we're going to talk about all of that in this video. But there's actually a funny cheese that you can actually do with Yda as well, which I will be linking some gameplay of mine down in the description below so you guys can check out and see what I'm talking about when I do talk about it in the should you pour portion of the video. Because if you pair her up with SephyYda, and as long as SephyYda has this BT effect active, then you can basically in a way kind of solo whatever fight it is that you're doing, if possible, with Yda, now that she is getting her LD ability. But we'll get into that here in the should you pour portion of the video, and I'll explain how everything works out. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Yda herself and whether or not she's actually worth picking up. So, as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content. Let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Let's talk about her rework and her LD weapon. So we'll first start off with Yda's rework to her skill 1 and skill 2. So for her skill 1, Snap Punch is getting an additional 2 uses now, being a total of 10. It is also going to be getting an increase in Brave potency whenever you use the Snap Punch attack. Now when it comes to the plus version though, the plus version makes it so that now she deals a 3-hit melee Brave plus an HP attack 3 times, and the Brave potency does get a little bit decreased, but that's because of the multiple HP dumps that you got going on now. And after each except for her last HP attack, she does recover Brave based on 50% of the HP attack except for the last one. So at least she'll be able to start off with a good amount of Brave in the first 2 HP attacks, so that way, she'll have more damage, or she'll be dealing more damage with her Snap Punch Plus. Now when it comes to her skill 2, which is the Touch of Death, whenever you use Touch of Death, she gets additional Brave hits in her attack. Now she now deals 100% splash damage, so basically it's like 4 HP damage to all targets now. She does inflict 6 actions of the sap and HP poison debuff to all enemies. She does recover Brave to herself based on 30% of the HP damage dealt to the target, and she does get an increase in turn rate whenever you use her ability. So Yda's LD ability called 6-Sided Star. So she increases Brave to herself based on 50% of her own max Brave, and then she deals a 3-hit AoE melee Brave plus an AoE HP attack 6 times, and she deals 4 HP damage. So she does deal a very hefty amount of damage via her LD ability. Now she does increase the HP damage dealt by 20%, and after each except for her last HP attack, she recovers Brave to herself based on 30% of the total HP damage dealt. Now she does grant 2 buffs to herself. One brand new one is called Heal with My Partner that lasts for 12 turns, and she also gets a 100% evasion up for 1 turn. She also upgrades her Snap Punch ability to the plus version, and she does have low turn rate with her LD ability. Also, on her following turn, she does get free skill uses to her skill 1, skill 2, and her C65. Now, whenever you get this buff active on Yda, Here With My Partner, this grants her a 20% attack up, a 20% stolen max Brave overflow up, a 20% Brave damage up, and whenever she is dealing critical Brave damage, her Brave damage up is now 30%, and it also gives her a 20% HP damage up. Now, whenever you use whenever you fully realize or max out her LD ability, or LD weapon, excuse me, her HP attack turns into HP attack plus. Now, this is the key thing right here that I was mentioning earlier in this video that is going to help her out if you do pair Yda with SephyYda, so you can do the quote-unquote Yda Cheese that I mentioned. So with her HP attack plus plus plus. As long as you have the while here, or not while here, as long as you have the here with my partner buff active. So with this attack, it's a 4 hits melee brave plus HP attack, and it does deal critical brave damage when attacking an enemy that is not targeting herself, and it does deal 50% splash HP damage to non-targets. Now here's the kicker. So whenever you use this, it extends any active buffs by 2 turns on Yda. So that 100% evasion up, yeah, that's going up by 2 turns now. So which is great. And all of her other buffs does get extended as well. Now this does have high turn rate, but if she does break the target, she gets instant turn rate, and she is granted a turn that does not increase the turn count, but it does decreases during the summon and or if she is being used as a friend support. And she is also granted a turn that has instant turn rate. Now, if you do inflict break on the granted turn, it will not grant her another like high turn rate where you can do the same thing over and over. So basically what you have to do is that whenever you break the target with her HP attack plus plus plus, you're gonna get that additional attack that you were able to do. So let's say if you use her skill 1 or her skill 2 or her LD ability or her EX ability, whatever that you want to use, right? And then you follow up again with the HP attack plus 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 right after, you can continue that cycle over and over, and you are not going to lose any of your buffs that you have active, because Yda is going to continue to extend those active buffs as long as you keep doing the cycle over and over. That's why when I mentioned the whole Yda Cheese with SephyYda, remember SephyYda's BT effect makes it so that all enemies brave always goes back to 1. And guess what? As long as Yda is able to break that, you can cycle that over and over and over as long as you want, until like either you want to change up or whatever strategy that you're doing, or you beat the enemy. So that's why I call it the Yda Cheese, because like, you know, you can basically not let the enemy get any type of action during the fight at all, because Yda has control of the entire fight. So and again, I will link down in the description of the video a video that I did this with an upcoming story chapter that Global should be getting next month, where you get to see, and I'll have the timestamp on it too, where you get to see how I take advantage of this of the Yda Cheese that we're talking about, which, you know, that video, for those who are curious to know, or curious to, or have been wondering like how I look like, you know, that video does have face cam on it. So, you know, for those who don't know how I look like, well, here's your opportunity now. But yeah, so you know, you get to see how the Yda Cheese actually works when you pair her up with SephyYda. So yeah, it's you know, it's something like some fun shenanigans really that you can actually do with Yda. So now we get to the point of the video where you guys decide whether or not it is actually worth pulling for Yda's LD weapon based on what you have already heard so far. And I actually forgot that I actually recorded some gameplay doing the Yda Cheese for you guys to actually watch. So I mean, I guess while you guys are listening in, you can also take a look at the gameplay where I'm actually taking advantage of the fact that I can cheese a fight in a way, or quote unquote cheese a fight, using the strategy that I mentioned. So well, there you go. So if you want to watch this, or if you want to watch the other video, you know, you're more than welcome to. But anyways, so for Yda, you know, a lot of people didn't really use Yda because of the fact that, like, you know, the damage output was definitely not there. So she had been benched for quite a while now in DFFOO, until she finally got her LD ability, and her LD ability, you know, really just amps up her like the amount of damage that she now deals. I mean, like she does some hefty damage with her LD ability, but it is a good thing that she did get an upgrade with her normal skills as well, so that way you can kind of like do a bit of rotation between like her skills and her LD ability, that way so that you can have her buff from an LD ability active. But you know, if you do decide that like, hey, you want to try doing the Yda Cheese, then you got to worry about buffs or whatnot, because like you're basically extending them a whole lot more. Another thing that I forgot to mention while talking about her LD ability is her overhead. So if you do manage to get her LD ability, the stack on the overhead actually does not decrease and no longer decreases anymore. So that way you can fully take advantage of the small little buffs that she, or I guess like these small little auras that she is giving to herself via her overhead. As long as you have her EX maxed out and whatnot, EX plus and whatnot. I mean, so she does get some Brave Regen, initial Brave up, which that Brave Regen actually relies on her initial Brave up. So, you know, the higher the initial Brave, the better. She does get a self-granted Brave gains up and a Stolen Max Brave Overflow up, which is good as well. The thing is though, like with Yda, you know, even though she does increase her stats up a little bit, you know, she does have that Brave Regen, I still feel like she does need a little bit of help via a support character. But I mean, nowadays for DPS characters, I mean you normally would at least attach some type of support character to be able to increase the amount of Brave damage that you're dealing with your DPS character. So you know, that's pretty normal. But aside from that, I mean, she does have that, what do you call it, Brave Sap or Poison, and she does have HP Sap, which is based on 100% of her attack as well. So she kind of, she in a way, if you do let the enemy act, if you don't do the cheese with her, then you will be dealing a little bit of damage as well on the enemy's turn, which is not bad. You know, any extra damage is always welcome, at least for me and my team comp. So but other than that though, I mean, like her LD ability, like I said, you know, it does help her out in terms of like stat buffs and whatnot. But again, I do feel like she does need just a tiny little bit of help, so that way you can maximize her damage output. So like, say example, like Poem, Letta, you know, Selfie, hell, Setzer for my Setzer users out there. You know, like, it'll help her out in terms of on the amount of Brave damage that she will be dealing. So in a way, like if you are in need of, like, say a pretty good damage dealer, Yda is definitely not a bad option. And of course, you do have an option as long as you have Sephir's BT. You do have an option to be able to do her cheese as well, so long as the enemy has like no way of countering that. But other than that, I mean, like she does become an overall good character. Now, she does not have her C90 in JP, but what's funny about that is that her C90 actually releases on the day that Global actually gets Yda's LD weapon banner. So for those who are trying to plan out like your pulls in the future one now, or if you're trying to see whether or not a character is actually good in the future, well, you're gonna have to wait until the 14th, which is when her banner releases on Global, to actually see what she's gonna be getting with her rework and her C90. So you know, definitely expect to see, you know, some information on that old gameplay for me, because you know, as you can see, I have my Yda maxed out, so, and I have her ultimate weapon ready, so Yda's gonna be doing damage, baby, and I cannot wait. So yeah, so again, if you need yourself a pretty good DPS character, then Yda's definitely a very good option. Yda's even a good option as well to use as a call ability, her LD call ability, for those who you know, are trying to speed up co-ops. Her LD attack via her call ability is actually not a bad option to use during co-op sessions as well. So, you know, it's, you know, a little something to add onto whether or not it's worth pulling for a Yda and whatnot. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below. What are you gonna do if you're gonna pull for her LD weapon? Are you going to wait? Are you going to wait to see what JP is going to be getting here in the next few days, and kind of determined by that? Let me know down in the comment section below, and your overall thoughts on Yda. But other than that though, guys, that's going to be it for the video. As always, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Omnia content. Check out those links that I mentioned earlier in this video, and take care, guys. I'll catch you guys in my next video.